In today's Leeds news, international call-ups, women win in the Cup, AO Tanaka to Leeds, Gnonto Latest, Wober Gladbach interest and St.Gallan defender linked. Morning folks, Jerry here, Thursday morning the 29th of August with your Leeds United news. We're nearly there. We are nearly finished what has been a very up and down roller coastery style of transfer window for Leeds fans this year. It nearly is done and it's nearly complete. 49ers are very close to delivering on what they promised. We'll talk about it in more detail, but there is a lot of noise going around today. It's going to be a busy day. There's a press conference today as well, and we will have the podcast out today. We're recording it about 4:30. It should be up on the channel about 6 o'clock, so we'll try and cover off any information that happens between this and then if anything major happens later on in the evening, I'll be back tonight. We'll be on several times tomorrow then as well with live streams for deadline day, as well as the last hour of the window myself, Alex from American in Leeds podcast and Michael Maynard will be live to do the last hour of the transfer window should anything be popping up, or look back and talk about the entire window that we've had so far. So there's a bit to get into. We'll start off with the non-transfer related news real quick, and we'll start off with the international call-ups, and congratulations to Carl Darlow on receiving his first international call-up to the Welsh national side. It's an achievement. It's a hell of an achievement for a player that's played very little football in the last 2 years, but he has gotten that call-up, and well done to him. And best of luck. It did see a player drop out of that squad though, in Charlie Crew, who wasn't included in the Welsh national team first team squad, but he has today been called up for the under-21 squad. Charlie has lots of time. It's about playing football for him. He is a full international now, but the fact that he still has the option of playing on 21 football for a while yet still is good for him, means he's getting games. So congratulations to both of them and best of luck during the international break. Moving on to the Leeds women's team, they kicked off their FA Women's National League Cup competition yesterday, and they did so in impressive form in a game that was shy on goals for most of the game but kicked into life very late on in a game that Leeds were mostly dominant in. Leeds ran out 2-0 winners against local rivals Halifax. Goals from Sarah Danby and Drew Green late in the game in the 80th and 87th minute were enough to give Leeds a 2-0 win against Halifax and book their place in the next round of the FA Women's National League Cup. Best of luck to them in that. Right, moving on, let's get into the news stuff. We'll start off with the obvious one, the AO Tanaka move to Leeds United, and after 12 months of waiting, it now appears that Daniel Farke will finally get the number 8 that he wanted this time last year in his team. After a week of speculation around whether it would be Dejan Ljubitic, whether it would be Philip Billing or AO Tanaka, it now looks for all intents and purposes like AO Tanaka to Leeds United is a done deal and will become Leeds United's 7th signing of the summer. According to Sasha Tavaleri, a deal has been agreed between both sides and the player should be in Leeds right now for his medical. He flew in at 10:30 this morning to get the medical done. Graham Smith has also been speaking about the situation. He has said the following: AO Tanaka flying in this morning for a medical. Leeds United hopeful of completing that one today. Also expecting movement on other business today in order to complete tomorrow. The hope is for 3, Tanaka, a fullback and another. No guarantees. Obviously, Daniel Farke last week said that he wanted 4 players. A Cree and a Georgie replacement, a number 8 in midfield and a left back. If they bring in Tanaka and get the left back on loan that's rumoured, then that's done. If Leeds can bring in another player like a Gus Hamer or number 10, and we're getting a bit greedy now, but if he can bring in that, it will be seen as an incredibly strong window. If he doesn't bring in Hamer, he's still gotten exactly what he has asked for, which is all you can say from an ownership. Did they give the manager the players that he wanted? Yeah, they did. If they can get a Hamer, which I think is difficult and will be tricky to get, but if they can get him, it's an incredibly strong window. If they don't get him, it's still a really, really good window for me. This we tried crap that's floating around is nonsense at this stage. They brought in exactly what the manager has looked for. It could be 9 signings by the end of the window, which is a lot. So can't say he wasn't back. The rumoured deal around this, and this one's come out from Florian Plettenberg, who can be a little bit off on his numbers at some points, but he is saying £3.5 million fee for the player and will sign a contract until 2028, so a 4-year deal with Leeds United. So all of that looks good, and if it is completed today, and if a fullback does come in later on today or early tomorrow, it's a great window. It's a really good window. If Leeds can add a specialist 10, it's a perfect window, assuming everyone stays fit and they all gel well together, which will take time. There's a lot of players coming in. It will take time for them to gel. But Farke got the 4 that he wanted this time last week, even without Gus Hamer coming into the mix as well. Alex Cairns, Joe Rothwell, Joe Rodon, Jaden Bogle, Largy Ramzani, Manor Solomon, Ao Tanaka, a left back, and maybe one other is a hell of a window for Leeds considering how many players went out this year. And this is a very, very, very different looking Leeds United team, but no less dangerous, and possibly in some areas a little bit more dangerous than it was last season. But that's the incoming stuff. What about outgoings as well? We knew we were going to be in this situation, so we should talk about that. Willie Gnonto is the one to discuss. The question around his future with Leeds United will continue to rumble on until the window closes. Right now he remains a Leeds United player, as does Max Verber, but both of their situations are going to be high on Leeds fans' minds as we come close to the deadline tomorrow evening. Graham Smith has also been tweeting about Willie Gnonto's situation, and he has said the following on that. It's still all quiet on the Willie front as things stand. Ideally, it'll stay that way. Keeping him feels really important. Could well see someone trying with a late bid, and it's very likely someone will have a dip in very late on. If Willie can commit himself to staying with Leeds, he was very good in the number 10 position when he played during the week. I talked about this after Cree left. If he can take on that mantle as being the player, you know, I wanted him to take the number 10 shirt and play in the number 10, but playing in the number 10 position anyway, and becoming a really important player for Leeds, and someone that can fire Leeds back into the Premier League as the main player, will get him the move that he wants into the Premier League, but will make him a star along the way, bringing Leeds up there as well if he decides to stay. If he does stay, it's a very strong player to keep for Leeds. If he does leave and Leeds bring in all the other players, including a Gus Hamer, you can probably let him leave. There's probably enough cover in those positions to not be worried about that one too much. But I'd like him to stay. He's been up and down. He's had a lot of noise around him. He's a young kid. There's a lot of stuff going on constantly around the player. It'd be nice for him to settle down for the year and go and play some football without any distractions. He started the season really, really well. Long may that continue. Moving on to another potential exit, and this one we're not going to be surprised. We talked about it briefly last week, but it's popped up again. It was always going to pop up and always close to the end of the window, but Munchen Gladbach appear to be revving their engines and getting ready to make a move for Max Verber. Leeds are expecting interest in the player late in the window as Gladbach get set to make their move. Wober did commit to staying with Leeds, or as we're told from conversations relayed from Daniel Farke, similar to what he did last year, but he has actually donned the Leeds jersey in competitive games this season, to mixed fortunes, I suppose, and is currently out with a bit of a calf problem. We'll find out more in the press conference today, but we can read into that what you want. But Wober cannot go to Mönchengladbach on loan. There is no loan release clause in his contract, so if Gladbach want a loan, there's going to have to be an obligation there as well to pay money in the future. According to Bild in Germany, though, they say Gladbach are planning a late attack on Wober, and they also claim that if Leeds do allow the player to move, it will be on a permanent deal, and they're quoting a price tag from Leeds of £16.8 million, which is a significant increase on the 10 to 12 million that Leeds were looking for at the end of the season. This additional money has been labelled as an insurance for Leeds, as if a player leaves towards the end of a window, getting another player in without a premium price can be very difficult, especially of a similar quality. So the extra cash there is designed to make it easier for Leeds to get a replacement. You can have them if we can get a replacement, but the replacement's going to cost us more than it would have at the end of the season had you brought the player then for the 10 to 12 that we wanted. So we'll have to see what happens. Leeds still maintain that Verber is a Leeds United player and might not be leaving. You can't guarantee that in a window. If he does stay, it is still a strong player that if he gets the head down, relaxes, will still be a good player to have in the squad for Leeds United. And if he does leave for a significant amount of money, Leeds will need some form of a replacement, whether that's a loan temporarily till January or going and getting another player that they've lined up maybe, but there will need to be some form of replacement comes in. But we'll keep an eye on that one as we get closer to the end of the window. That could be a one that goes right to the end of the window tomorrow. The other player that has been linked this morning, and this is kind of a replacement for Verber but also kind of not a replacement for Verber, and this one's more of a fullback position. Reports in Switzerland claim the Leeds could be looking at a fullback in the Swiss league. St.Gallan defender has been linked with Leeds United, and Leeds are said to be keeping close tabs on St.Gallan defender Isaac Schmidt. Schmidt is a fullback but can play in central areas, but is predominantly a fullback and has already played 8 games in the Swiss league so far this season, scoring a goal and clocking up 2 assists in the process. According to news outlet Blick in Switzerland, they claim that Leeds are very interested in the fullback, and this one could move very quickly. It'll kind of have to move quickly because there's less than 48 hours left in the window, so it will need to move relatively rapidly if they're to try and bring him in from Switzerland. So those keeping tracks of planes, keep an eye out for planes coming out of St. Gallen heading towards Leeds Bradford today. There's going to be a lot more stuff today. We'll be back later on this evening with the podcast and have a conversation around what's going on today. Possibly a live stream late this evening if anything major breaks, but definitely back tomorrow will be a very busy day for us. There's at least one player planned to come in tomorrow, if not more, and then there's the potential of exits as well. So Leeds will have a very busy day tomorrow and we'll be there for it as well. News in the morning, and then we'll do some live streams throughout the course of the day, and the final hour will be covered by myself, Alex and Michael, the old crew, getting back together to do the transfer run the way we used to do them. So I'm looking forward to that as well. All the detail will be released tomorrow as well, so you can keep an eye out for them as well. I'll talk to you later on. Enjoy the rest of your day. See ya. Bye.